Hello and welcome back to episode 5 of Babbling Brummies. Today is a sort of a special. We're going to be spending 40 minutes today just talking about the EFL Championship. We've got a special guest with us who I'm just going to introduce in a second. But our special guest is a Cardiff fan. Jamie's obviously a Birmingham City fan. I'm a Portsmouth fan. Hopefully next season when we could do this special, I'll be able to talk about the Championship in a bit more detail because Portsmouth will be in there. But today we're just going to be talking about the Championship. Who we think's going to go up, who thinks going to get relegated, who's overachieved, underachieved, and all of that. And we're going to get into that. But firstly, I just want to introduce our guest today. So obviously you know me and Jamie. But Kris, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, lads, thank you so much for having me on the pod. So I'm a massive Cardiff City fan, and hopefully I might get invited back to this pod next year as well. But the way we're playing, I might not be able to join. But yeah, no, I appreciate it. I'm buzzing. After the Christmas break, good to talk about it.
Good. Well, we're just going to go straight into, I think, starting and talking about who we think's going to get promoted. I think if we just straight away just all give who we think will get promoted, then we can discuss and rip apart each other's suggestions as we go on. So for me, I think I would love Bournemouth to get promoted. I would like Blackburn to get promoted again. Both them two, both automatic, and I'd also like to see West Brom go up. I'd like to see them go up automatic, but I think probably playoffs. I mean, they haven't actually played that well. I don't think this season in the games that I've seen them in. They've been getting results, but I mean they're not scoring loads compared to the teams around them. I think everybody in the playoffs scored more than them. But I would like to see them go up. So I'm saying Bournemouth, Blackburn, and West Brom. West Brom by playoffs. Jay?
I personally like to see Bournemouth go up as well,
Yep.
and I think Blackburn's so indecisive only on the fact that if they can keep this Diaz lad, they've got a
Yeah, I was going to say that
very
later
good
on.
chance.
Yeah, that's what I was going to
Very good
say.
chance. However, you've got teams like Newcastle who have a lot of money at the minute, and we'll just go, what you? So I'm gonna throw a curveball and say Fulham, and I'm gonna
Yep.
say playoffs. I'm gonna
Huddersfield. No,
say,
come on.
no, please. Um, Maybe some West Brom.
Oh, so same as me, but you've
Bournemouth, Fulham,
done
West
Fulham
Brom.
rather than Okay.
Well,
And Kris,
I,
who do you
I,
think?
so I'm thinking. So it's all like pretty gritted teeth, really. But I think Bournemouth and Blackburn are nailed on. I think Blackburn might even win it.
Really?
Yeah, honestly, that like we said, Jay was just saying about Diaz. Like,
And Brereton as well. He's
yes, yeah,
second
yeah.
top scorer.
But
To
but Diaz has gone
yeah.
from 7 goals last season to 20 something
Yeah.
like now. So like
Yeah.
he's on a bit of form, and he might not be that good a player like next season. But obviously, if they keep going, they won't be able to stop him. So that's why I think yeah, Bournemouth, Blackburn, and regrettably, I think probably Fulham.
I thought for a second, sorry, Chris, you were literally just going to be like, no, Diaz isn't that good of a player. Sorry, mate, you've just said
No,
that
no, no, no.
20
He's an unbelievable player. That's what I'm saying. But I don't know whether it's like a one season sort of in like a Leicester City sort of thing, like whether he's just
I
going to
mean,
be ploughing it for this season.
I know at the start of the season he was, I think it's 5,000 to 1 to be top scorer in the league. So
Anytime you
it's
can go
like
5,000 to 1, you just put a quid on it now. Don't play with them games.
it's like fair play. Like if they keep him, yeah. Anyway, yeah, if they keep him, I'll be with a shout. I think. What were your choices then? Sorry, Kris.
Bournemouth, Blackburn, and Fulham.
Fulham. Okay, so same as Jay. No, Jay didn't say Blackburn. He said West Brom. Yeah. Okay. I mean, there's a few other teams up there, isn't there? You got QPR, who are doing reasonable. You've
Yeah.
got Middlesbrough again doing quite good. A bit further out, you got Stoke, but also Huddersfield, who've seemed to make a resurgence this season, who are sort of
Yeah.
at the back end of the playoffs at the moment. And we've got a friend who's a big Huddersfield fan, so I do keep a little bit of an eye out on them. But it seems quite tight between these top 4 teams, doesn't it? Bournemouth, Fulham, Blackburn, and West Brom, especially.
I love
Like,
this part of the championship though, because this is literally where it's just the first one to slip out. Like they're all
yeah,
just gonna keep going and going and going, and someone's gonna have the fall apart in form. You know,
Mm.
it could even be a case of Fulham are gonna play Blackburn, it'll end 1-1, and then the other two teams will jump in.
And you got Queens Park Rangers just behind him as well.
Yeah,
Like,
and QPR have a game in hand on West Brom. They have a game in hand on West Brom, Blackburn, and Bournemouth, so they can cut that
it's
to
gonna
2
be
points.
it's gonna be tight. And like, I think what I like about the Championship is at the start of the season you have an idea who's going to be up there. Like the Prem, you know who the top 6 are going to be 9 times out of 10.
Mm.
Like, I know, like last season you had like West Ham and Leicester have a great season, but like even this season, you know who 5 of the top 6 are going to be almost nailed on most seasons. Whereas in the Championship, you don't. Like, you have, obviously, you'd think teams like Bournemouth, West Brom will be near there, but I don't think QPR have been missed good for quite a few seasons, have they? And same with Huddersfield.
No, not really. They've been all right. They've been there and about, but they haven't been fantastic. I mean, even I always look at the Championship in terms of you could say there's arguably about 12 to 15 teams that you could say playoffs, could be playoffs, could be playoffs, could be playoffs.
That's the good thing.
Mm.
And then there's 8 or
so
9 teams that
challenging.
you could go down. Oh, you could go down.
Yeah.
Like, if you told me, if I saw Derby at the beginning of the season with minus 24 points, and now I see Derby now on plus 11 going, they might actually be able to stay up.
Yeah.
Like, hang on.
Yeah.
That'd be a big if they do. And we're going there now. Actually, really, to relegate. Who thinks going to get relegated? Relegated. Yeah, relegated. Sound very posh. But just before we get there, I just want to have a bit of a special mention for Blackburn Rovers, really, because they lost pretty much their best player in the summer transfer window, didn't they? Like, this is a Blackburn team who were in League One just a few seasons ago, and they lose arguably their best player in Armstrong to the Premier League in the summer.
Yeah.
I was not expecting them to be up there this season. Like, I was not expecting them to be up top 2, top 3 this season. But
usually, if you lose one of your most
well.
prolific goal scorers, it falls apart, doesn't it?
I mean, you had that with Birmingham, didn't you, when you lost Che Adams?
Oh,
You were doing half good and he left. And, like, to be honest, you're struggling for a scorer for a bit.
yeah, we're still struggling for a score. We got Troy, and that's it, really. I mean, Scott
Big
Hogan,
Troy,
I don't
didn't
know
he?
don't know what Scott Hogan does half the time, bless him. Like,
Well, speaking about Birmingham, who do you think's going to get relegated?
Oh,
Jay.
tragic.
Oh,
Tragic.
I don't know.
Do you want to go first? Do you want to go first, Jay?
I don't know. I've never seen my team relegated from the Championship, John. But that being said, who do I think's going down? I really annoyingly want to say that I think Derby might just scrape up, and it's really going to hurt my soul.
Maybe.
I think Barnsley are gone. Barnsley
Yeah.
are not very good. I think Barnsley, Peterborough, and I'm going to say Derby, but I wouldn't be surprised if they pull one out the hat last second. Reading, I think, might just get slapped with another point deduction because the EFL love banter, and they do it all the time to any team they want.
But they do it Andy Carroll, don't they? So
yeah. Andy Carroll's a 17-point deduction alone. That's disgusting. There's a lot of teams around us, so us included. If we don't pick our form up pretty soon, man, we're only on 27 points. We could drop very quickly into them places.
Are you saying the bottom 3 teams at the moment, really, though, you think will probably get relegated?
I think so. I think Reading, I hate saying this phrase, but Reading's squad looks too good to go down. And I know that's a very, very silly thing to say, but their squad it's got a lot of Premier League experience in it. They shouldn't be battling down there. They've got Scott Dan, they've got Danny Drinkwater. They've got players who have been up there in the Premier League many times.
Yeah. They've got, basically, do you remember their Masters games that used to be on TV? There's all the legends. It's basically the legends.
That's it. That is so it, isn't it?
I saw Andy Carroll save a shot off the line, didn't he, the other week?
That's what I mean. Like,
So,
Andy Carroll's the man of everything. I don't think Cardiff will go down. I think Cardiff will be okay. Their
I
squad
was going to
again.
ask that before I did my predictions, because I know Kris, obviously, is a Cardiff fan. Have you picked up form since sacking Mick McCarthy?
Well, yeah, definitely since sacking Mick McCarthy, who I just want to go on record and say that I never wanted him in the club, and I'm glad he's gone.
You were buzzing the day you got there.
We were with you. We just went to the match, didn't we?
No. I was happy when he was gone.
When he got fired. Sorry.
Yeah. I thought Jay was mugging me off. Sorry. So we've definitely picked up form, but I'm worried. Just generally, like this, we haven't been like this before.
Yeah.
We've always kind of ploughed through mid-table, or well, not even that, like maybe mid-table, but pushed playoffs. And then this season has just crumbled. I'm going to blame COVID. But like Kiefer Moore's had COVID like 3 times. He's been tested positive 3 times for COVID. And so
You expect Cardiff to be top half of the table every season, really, or Premier
Oh,
League.
definitely. Thank you. Yeah, definitely. But our top goal scorer, our best player, has been
Bench.
well, one was ruined by the Euros, right?
Yeah.
Fair play. Then benched because he wasn't fit. Mick McCarthy had a bet on him not playing, and and now he's just had COVID 3 times, and so it's hard to then find that good striker. And to be honest, now January he might get sold. Like people are eyeing him up and thinking about bidding 10 mil for him. That's he's as good as gone.
You nearly lost him in August, didn't you? Let's be honest.
Yeah, that was deadline day.
And but you're right about Euros. It does kill the players off, especially this year when they went pretty much straight back into the league just a few weeks. Like, I mean, I know I don't want to talk about Portsmouth too much, but I just want to bring him in a little bit. We signed Joe Morale, who was obviously one of Wales midfielders, and we signed him. And I've never seen him play before. Well, I've probably seen him in a few Wales matches if I'd watched them.
Wow!
But I'd not really seen him played before. And he came in first few games. I was like, this kid is awful. We were so excited about signing this player from the Championship, Wales International. And he had a few weeks off after that. I think it was international break again, but I don't think he played. And then he came back, and I was like, this is a new kid. He's literally our best player. Like, he's my favourite player this season. And then he went back again to Wales, when Wales played Belgium, had De Bruyne in his pocket. Like, do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I know what you mean, mate.
it does kill off players, and but when you look at Cardiff, he obviously got benched quite a bit, McCarthy. But when you're going into like October, November time, and he's still being benched, it's no longer Euros fitness, is it?
No, and no one believes it is either. Like the fans are like, "Why aren't you playing Kiefer Moore?" And he's like, "Oh, he's not match ready." You're like, "Well, he is, isn't he?"
Get him match ready.
Yeah, like that's someone's fault. That's not his. So I'm worried about Cardiff. I don't think we'll go down. I think it'd be really tight. But so I see us finishing around where we are really. I don't see us climbing too much higher. Derby's a really weird one, right? Because I'm not huge on stats, but I have just had a quick look at the table, and their goal difference is -1, and that puts them 16th.
Well, if they didn't have a deduction, they'd be 14th in the league.
Oh, really? Is that actually the maths?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
They'd be on 32 points, which would be equal with Sheff in 13th, but just with less goal difference.
And Rooney didn't have a squad to play. I don't know if you saw it, but at the beginning of the season, he was like, "Oh, I don't have any players; they've all gone."
Because Bolton a few seasons ago, they just had played a youth team at the start of the season.
He's launched in old free transfers and youth players, and he's made it work.
I think if he keeps them up, this will probably be his greatest achievement. I know, like he's won loads of United and all that stuff, but how amazing would that be? He hasn't had a proper managerial job, probably hasn't had proper training, and managed to like survive the Championship, arguably one of the most brutal leagues, with scraps and a point deduction.
I actually want to talk. No, you go.
And saying not even a little point deduction. We're talking 21 to 24 points here, like a massive point deduction.
I wanted to talk about this in a bit, but I think it's actually a good time to do it now, just before we get the rest of Chris's relegation and my relegation. But have you heard the rumours of Mike Ashley launching a £50 million bid to buy Derby? And do you think that's a good thing? Because when I saw that, I thought not a good thing. But when I saw some people talking about it, and this is right for Derby at the moment. Obviously, long term, I wouldn't want. If Derby's my team, I wouldn't want him in.
No.
But at the moment, they have no no money, no prospect of getting any money from anywhere. I'm not sure if they've even got an owner anymore, really, or who owns the club or whatever. But as bad as Mike Ashley was, and as much as he didn't like spending money, Newcastle were never financially unstable when he was in charge. I know they didn't like to buy players. They got relegated a few times, got promoted back again.
Yeah.
But at this point in time, as a Derby fan, would you take that for the... Oh, well, you'd hope short term. You never know with Mike Ashley. But like, you'd hope short term. Would you take that? Especially right now when, if they don't get stuff sorted, they might be looking at a goal point deduction next season as well, if they stay up.
Very clever investment from Mike Ashley. You know, everything makes sense for him. It's 50 million. It's good. Apparently, that's a number I've heard is 50 mil. It's the
That's
same
what I heard
colour as
too,
Sports Direct anyway, so it's perfect for him. Like, he's pretty much there, isn't he? He just kind of walks in. He'll change it all like he did to Newcastle.
And I'm not saying it would be a good thing, by the way. I'm just saying that's the argument I saw, and I would like to, it'd be good to talk about it, I think.
I'm very bitter when it comes to talking about new owners, so I'm going to try and not say anything too much here, because the last two owners that we apparently have passed this magic check that the Football League does have been terrible. And
Yeah, you're talking to Portsmouth fans here, or Portsmouth fan, like, fit and proper person test. What do they do? Like, we got taken over by some dodgy people. All
Take
in a
some
row,
money, that's what they do.
Dodgy owners. It's right.
Do you breathe oxygen? Yes. Are you fans on this club? Okay, cool.
Look the other way. So I think, I mean, so I really love our owner
Yeah.
at Cardiff. So I really don't. So I don't have like a bias towards new owners, but I would say, yeah, as a Derby fan, if I was a Derby fan, I'd take it because, but I would make sure that it's like it's somehow contractual that it's short term. Because I do think Mike Ashley just bleeds clubs dry, and it's a horrible experience for clubs. No one wants that. No one wants him in the club. But if he's willing to inject some money, keep them afloat, then yes, I would happily take Mike Ashley for 2 seasons, loads of money, and then he can sell them for double or something in a couple of years. He's happy. Derby are saved. They're happy. Yeah, I'll take that.
And the thing is, like, I personally, I don't know if I still don't know which side of the fence I'm on this. But even if I was a Derby fan, if he came in, steadied the ship, and left, I wouldn't mind him making a tidy profit. Like 50 million's a bargain for a Championship team. I mean, you look at Southampton, 100 million. That was ridiculous. They brought him for a Jack Grealish, Southampton.
That's mad, right? That is mad when you say that.
But like, if I wouldn't be opposed to him buying a 50 million, selling him 100 million 2 years later, 50 mil profit,
Crack on.
and going out. Do you know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't be opposed to that. It'll steady the ship, given time to get an owner in. Hopefully, keep him as a Championship club. But who knows? Who knows what would actually happen?
But if you're Derby as well, you don't like if you're a Derby fan, and you're like the actual club, that profit doesn't come out of your pocket. Like he's buying you for 50 million, so you don't see that anyway. That's off the owner. He injects some money in. So say he puts in 50 million, so he spent 100 million.
Well, actually, let's say 20 million.
25, and you've got to like buy Sports Direct for the rest of your life, and then he sells you for 150. You don't see any of that negative. Like you don't have to pay that. Do you know what I mean? You just got to make sure that the owner coming in is also going to be like an oil guru. So I think take it if they're the opportunity.
Yeah, I thought it was just an interesting.
No, I think it's 100%. It's interesting to talk about. I think a lot of clubs, you included, John. I think like, especially with the ownerships that we've had to deal with, you had it a lot worse than us. Don't get me wrong. I'm nowhere near comparing what we went through to you. But we just be happy with bloody owners that just steadied the ship.
We love our owners now.
Steadied the ship. Give us a little bit of money to play with in a transfer window. Cool, fine, whatever.
Have some ambition.
Yeah, like I don't care if the manager comes in and goes, listen, the new chairman comes in, listen, first 2 years, I'm not going to invest a lot, but I am going to balance the books and we're not going to be any more fun. Fantastic. All power to you, mate. Beautiful. Welcome to Birmingham. Sound. That's all I want. I
mean, for Portsmouth at the moment, we're in an unfamiliar ground of actually loving our owner. Like, we've got the Eisners, who were head of Disney, billionaires. They're not. I mean, they're not throwing ridiculous money at us like they said, but they said that when they came over. They did it the right way. When they took us over, they had a town hall meeting with who we were owned by supporters. They had meetings with the supporters. They said we're not going to take over unless the supporters just want us to. They had town hall meetings, asking all the questions, and they said straight away, goes, even though we're billionaires, we're not going to be pumping in hundreds of millions to get straight to the Premier League. They don't feel productive. What they're doing is they're going to be building up. So they've been improving our youth. They've put 10 million already into the stadium. We're looking now either expanding the stadium or building a whole new one. They are injecting money, but they're not spending 20 million on a championship striker to get us promoted to the championship. What they're doing is investing in the behind the scenes, keeping us steady, making us run well as a football club. And I'm loving that. Like, I absolutely love our owners. They're my favourite owners we've ever had.
That's amazing. That's the dream. As a Birmingham fan, that's the
Yeah.
kind of dream. That's
Yeah.
a dream to us at the minute. Like, just have owners like that. Like, even
Sorry, Joe. We both just said we
sat
love our
here-
owners.
I'm just sat here crying. Like,
Is your owner still under house arrest, Jay?
Don't swear, Jay. Don't swear. We don't even know who technically runs our bloody club. Like, we don't. You ask me who runs Birmingham City. I don't know. Is it Ren? Is it this guy? No one knows. No one. I literally read something the other day saying certain Birmingham City ex-fans and stuff and celebrities were on about trying to buy the club. They didn't know who to contact as the owner. Right, like
That's
what?
tragic.
This is like a joke now. We're edging Harry Redknapp dog bank account movements here, like absolute mug off, like.
It might be worth moving on swiftly from here because Jamie might end up using a few
Choice words.
choice words. Let's
I'm
go
gonna
back to
say-
Chris. Who do you think's getting relegated, Chris?
So I think Derby and Barnsley are gone unless there's a real, like, I don't know, miracle there for Derby, and I've got to say, like,
I dare you.
yeah, it's no, I think it's between Cardiff, Reading, and Peterborough, and
I really don't think you'll go down. I know it's your opinion. I'm sorry, but I'd be gobsmacked.
Yeah, but the issue is though that genuinely, like, if you look at the price, the prices, the point differences right now, Peterborough and Reading both have a game in hand over us, and so Peterborough get 3 points. Okay, they're on 22. Reading go above us on 25. So we're like joint bottom here. We've got Blackburn next. We've just spoke about how, like, insanely good they are. There's absolutely no chance that we're beating Blackburn.
Take a point right now. Someone said boring 0-0.
You say that, Chris, but like Reading's game in hand is against Fulham, and they're playing, as time of recording, they're playing right now and losing. I understand your point. I really do. But it's always hard, especially when you're in the midst of the battle at the bottom.
Yeah.
But games in hand, I know teams are fighting and they're hard teams to play about, but they're near the bottom for a reason. They've not been winning games, so a lot of the time these games in hand don't always develop into much.
Sure, I think, but they've got the opportunity to succeed, whereas we just don't see that. So,
I mean,
I'm feeling
when we're in
pessimistic.
scraps, I think I see games in hand as 3 points at that point, and like think we need to do better. Like I would see that as it probably won't be, but I would see Peterborough not on 19 points, but it's 22 points, and then go from there. In my mind.
So I probably should have mentioned this. Like, one of the reasons as well as why I think we're in trouble is that Cardiff's home games have to be played behind doors, so no fans.
Oh, what? Oh, because of the Welsh rules, isn't it?
Yeah, so we don't have the fans anymore.
That's
which
big.
Which will either play really into our favour or it'll play very much against our favour.
Is that for the rest of the season?
I mean,
well, it depends, doesn't it?
Until-
It's just until he changes his
Does that
mind.
include
again.
away teams as well? So if you bought a ticket to Cardiff away, you can't go now.
No,
Yeah, you can't go. No, it gets refunded. Yeah,
But
season ticket holders get like credit and stuff.
That's definitely a bad thing for Cardiff fans. I mean, me and Jay went to the Birmingham Cardiff game, and Cardiff fans are incredible. Best away fans I've seen in
Ever, thanks, man.
a long time. And like, I mean, going to Portsmouth, it's hard because Portsmouth is such a vocal crowd. A lot of the time, away fans don't really. I think sometimes they can be intimidated. You have some great away teams, it's like Plymouth when we played Plymouth. Great away fans.
Yeah, I didn't realise
Stuff like
Plymouth had
that.
such a good following.
They do. They're
Yeah.
really, I mean, Plymouth Portsmouth sort of like it's not a derby, but it's a mini derby. That's two. So they might be louder because of that. But Cardiff had very, very good fans. I mean, Swansea. We saw Birmingham and Swansea as well. Swansea had decent fans, but Cardiff were
They're from the wrong
for
part
me
of
anyway.
Wales. So.
They were a step above Swansea's fans.
Oh,
Swansea's
cool.
you were at the Swansea game. Swansea's fans were very loud, and
They're
were cheering
bang
their team
average.
on.
They're bang average.
No,
I think it might have just been quiet.
Swansea fans were loud when they scored their only shot on target that game. Yeah, they were good.
I can't remember the score, but I'm pretty sure it was a good one. So
We won 2-1, mate.
well,
You should remember this.
I thought Swansea were okay. Maybe I was. I don't know.
we're both biased, John. I don't know what you want us to say.
Yeah.
Oh, you want to say best fans? Yeah.
Amazing.
I mean, I would argue this might get Jay annoyed. I think they were the number of them way less than the Blues fans there. They were louder than the Blues fans that game. Blues fans against Cardiff were in very good voice. I'm not going to lie, but against Swansea they were quiet. Maybe it's because it was. I don't know why.
I think we were sat in different places as well. The family stand is not the fun part for singing, whereas we were by some rather rowdy people against Cardiff, weren't we?
But for the Swansea, but we could hear Swansea from where we were sitting. That's what I was. But when we were for the Cardiff game, it was very even with the noises. But Cardiff were very good, and I think it will be a negative that the fans can't be there because they are the 12th man.
Yeah, massively. Football fans give you that extra 10%. I've heard players say that loads. They give you that extra effort, that extra run in you that you can keep pushing.
So maybe that will play into facts for the end of the season.
I'm worried. I'm definitely worried. But we'll see how it happens.
Are Cardiff in your bottom three then, Chris? Derby, Barnsley, and Cardiff.
I think so. Yeah, I just don't see us getting past it. So we'll either be 21st or 22nd. Yeah.
I think Barnsley will be last. I think Hull City will be second last. And I think that Derby County, sadly, will be third last by about 2 points.
Wow.
I think it will go down that close. So I think Barnsley, Hull, and Derby will go down. And I would love to be proved wrong. Yeah, I mean, I don't like Hull anyway. I think they were not very great when they got promoted. I think they were very bang average. I mean, I say that. They got the points. They obviously played well. But when they played us, they beat us. But it was, I believe, undeserved. And the other teams who got promoted that season, when they beat us, they fully deserved it. So that's why. And I don't think they've improved too much. From looking at their starting 11 last few games, a lot of the players there are the Hull City team who are in League One as well. So that's my view.
Going back to Chris for 1 second. The next month is massive for you boys, Chris. Have you seen your fixture list? I'm guessing you have.
Remind me.
So you got Blackburn, fine. You can ride that off, take a point. Bristol City, Nottingham Forest, Barnsley, Peterborough, Millwall, Blackpool, Huddersfield.
Oh,
You've got 3 or 4 big games where they're. I mean, I pray to God that the last game of the season doesn't come down to it, mate, because it's us against yous. And I hope that neither team has to battle for it, because we hate going away at Cardiff. I just hope that we're both clear at that point. We can just smile, do you know what I mean?
I think Blues will be. I think they're very inconsistent Blues this season, but I think they'll win enough to last few games of the season not have to worry as much.
Oh yeah, we've got the goat that is Troy Deeney and the fridge up front that is Chucks and EK. We'll be all right, man. Don't worry about it. Right.
Yeah, I hope not. We've also got Liverpool in the FA Cup, just sort of in the middle of that. So
yeah, I just kind of sidelined that one, mate. I'm not gonna lie. I just kind of went, okay, we can't talk about that.
9-0, and it's going to be their B team.
You really think you're going to beat them 9-0? That's confidence, that is.
Is that Keith Moore's goodbye game?
Yeah. I don't know. Too soon.
It'll be gone by then.
Too soon.
So, I think we've got a bit of time left. Who do we think have been the overachievers and the underachievers this season? I'll go first on that, and then I'll pass over to you two. Underachiever, I actually think, is Cardiff.
I would agree.
We talked about it a bit already. We can get into it more when we've discussed it a bit later. But I think you expect Cardiff to be flirting 9th and above, flirting with playoffs every season.
Sheffield United as well.
Who?
Sheffield United went down last season, didn't they?
Yeah, but they were awful, weren't they? To sit in the Prem, I honestly didn't expect them to do that well. So for me, anyway, Sheffield United might be yours. You free to think now. I expected Cardiff to do better than Sheffield this season, and they've done a lot worse. And then overachiever for me, Blackburn Rovers. Mentioned it earlier. Lost their best player last season, and they're still battling for the title.
I think if you would have asked me this question a month ago, I would have shouted Coventry. Because Cov were up there, like Cov have just come up and they were smashing it, but now they've still got games in hand. Don't get me wrong, and if they win the games in hand, they're back in the playoffs. But you would never expected Coventry to be where they are. Like they did all right last season here, but I didn't expect them to push that high. Underachiever, I don't know. I agree with what you said about Sheffield United. Now I thought about it, I think it is Cardiff, John.
Kris?
I'm torn really because I think QPR have done really well, and they really don't deserve to be where they are because they've even got a game in hand over West Brom, and so let's say they win that, right? They're 4th. Last season I think they were like 10th or something, so they've kind of shot up a bit. They've got no right to be where they are. As an overachiever, yeah, Blackburn as well. Diaz Rovers has definitely sorted them right out. And yeah, I'm definitely gonna say us. Actually, I'm gonna say Derby County are overachievers and Cardiff are underachievers. Derby just purely because they'd be where like 14th, you said, and the fact they had no team at the start of the season. That's incredible, and the diff should be pushing top 2.
I thought you were gonna go super Aggie, Kris, and just be like, actually, and just start naming actual players. He's been the underachiever this season.
Yeah.
Aidan Flick's been alright. The rest of them.
Yeah. No, we've had some really good players like come out of the woodwork because of Kiefer Moore being out and a few of the other players being out. So I can't really complain with the team. It is just like the tactics and just a bit unfortunate. But anyway, so Derby have overachieved really above people's expectations, even though they're bottom. And Cardiff have underachieved.
Oh, brilliant! So we all had different overachievers. Yours was Coventry, wasn't it, Jay?
I would have said Cov. Sorry, I said I would have said Cov a month ago because they were smashing it. Overachieving. It's a tough one. It's a really tough one. Huddersfield.
Again, like,
yeah,
it's hard with Huddersfield because I just can't keep track of them. Like, I know, like the season they got promoted to the Prem as well. I swear, like the 5 seasons before that, they're like near the bottom of the league every season. It's like just staying up. Then suddenly they go up, have an amazing first season, trash second season. Then in the Championship, not perform well. Then the next season in the relegation zone, just stay up with the Cowlers as managers, best managers in the world. Sack them after I've just stayed up, and then have another bad season. And now they're 6th. Like, I just don't understand. I don't understand what happens at that club to make them so all over the place.
Last year they finished 20th.
Exactly, like it was literally all over the place. Who knows what happens in that club?
They've rubbed our lucky kit, man. That's what's happened.
Well, they got red as well.
We've swapped. Right. That's it. Calm down. Calm down. It's a family-friendly podcast. Calm down.
Yeah. No, Huddersfield, I think, have overachieved as well. Oh wow! So, but we all had a very similar. Yeah. Well, I think we all said Cardiff as the underachievers. And we all had similar reasons that Cardiff as a team, I always say teams in my mind, and I picture where they should be. So for Portsmouth, we've not had a great few years, obviously, but I always see us as an upper, like in the grand scheme of football, and I might be biased, might not be, who knows. I see us as a upper Championship, lower Premier League team, maybe like a yo-yo sort of like West Brom team. And in my lifetime, while I've been alive, I know for my dad, he says different. He says we've always been a lower league team. But for me, that's where I see us in my mind. And for Birmingham, I see them pretty similar as well. They're a big city club, and you'll see them in the same. And Cardiff, I mean, my dad would probably say different for his life, what he sees. But Cardiff weren't even in the Football League, and then they've come up from the bottom. So for him, it might be a lower league side. But for me, they should be top 6 in the Championship and battling relegation in the Premier League. That's where in my mind, in the grand scheme of my life, that's where I sort of see them. And like you've got teams like Huddersfield who, at the moment, are in the position I would see Cardiff in, who I think they should be battling for relegation in the Championship, sort of thing. Like it's weird how when we see teams, but I definitely see Cardiff as a team who should always be battling for promotion in the Championship or fighting off relegation in the Premier League. I don't think they're better than a relegation fighting Premier League team, or in my mind that they should be. Maybe one day they will be, but to be battling relegation in the Championship for me, it's a really bad season.
I think it's something that I've always gone by is if I look at a team in the Premier League and then go, oh, how are you there? We're a bigger club. That's what annoys me. And I kind of go,
Brentford.
Yeah, Brentford aren't.
I mean, they've had a good few seasons.
Brentford
Yeah, they've earned their place, but I don't think they're a big club.
Look at Wigan playing the relegation battle for about 8 years straight, and then eventually getting caught.
Yeah, but it's weird because obviously we've all got bias towards our own team as well, but the fact that we all said Cardiff shows they probably are underachieving this season.
You could have argued, Chris, how long have you been down the Championship again? 2-3 years?
3 years, yeah.
You could argue that you shouldn't have gone down that season.
I can argue, actually, very aggressively for a long period of time.
Made that signing of that striker you needed. Well, you did make the signing.
Sadly,
it didn't go very well.
But there's that, but there's also the VAR stuff with
the Chelsea game.
But hey, it's okay. It's a new day.
Yeah, I mean, it's like who was it who stayed up because of that? Them not turning on the goal line technology after the pandemic.
Aston Villa.
Oh,
Was it Aston Villa? They should have got relegated.
yeah, that was
They
it.
should have got relegated. They should be relegated. They shouldn't be in this league. But they're up in the Premier League still, thinking they're amazing because someone doesn't know how to use their eyeballs and go, it's gone over the line, that mate. Nah, the watch didn't tell me it went over the line. All right, yeah, sound.
Surely you understand where who's coming from there. Like, if you've got technology what's meant to tell you when a goal's gone in, you're not going to trust the lines again. I actually think it went over.
There
my
was
watch didn't tell me.
so
Yeah, the watch didn't tell him. They still had VAR, which could have gone, hang on a sec, mate. Yeah, it's gone in, you know. No, it's fine. It's fine because it's Villa, isn't it? So it's fine. Scumbags.
They forgot to turn on.
It's amazing, isn't it?
That's what you get in like pub league football. They forget to tell the referee what time the match is. They forget to turn on the goal line technology. Oh, man.
Turns up an hour late.
Just ridiculous.
But, that's all we really got time for today. Thank you, Kris, for coming on. Episode 5, and really fun episode today. Thank you, Kris, for all your insight into the Championship, into Cardiff especially. They've been a big talking point today, and we're definitely going to have you on a lot more often in the future. Really enjoyed it today.
Yeah,
thank you, Kris.
Appreciate it, boys. Thanks for having me on.
No worries. God, I hate Villa. Sorry, Karen. You started me off now.
If you're listening and you haven't already subscribed or followed us, please do that. It really helps us. And as always, do it. And then if you don't like us after a bit, you can unfollow and unsubscribe if you want to. But we'd love you to follow us. Also, if you're watching on YouTube or listening on YouTube, drop a like on the video. Drop a comment below as well. That really helps as well. But until next time, we've been the Babbling Brummies, and we'll see you soon.
In a bit.